Alright, I know that our vlogs are, well, thus far have been a little more cheery and just about, random things, our bucket list, and my little rant on roleplay. But I wanted to take a few minutes to vlog about something that is troubling and has troubled me for some time and troubles, I know, a lot of other people. So, and I guess this video would be just called The Trigger. Talk about triggering things. It's going to be about suicide and self-harm. In the last, say, week, in the last 2 weeks, two people I know have committed suicide, and one person that I know here in town has tried to commit suicide and ultimately lived through it. And total in and around the area that I live in, there has been 7 suicides in the last week and a half. And I am a cutter. I stopped for a long time, and just recently, between losing people I care about and just going through a really hard time with things and having a hard time dealing with a lot, I have started again. So I'm going to give you some of my backstory, where I come from, what I've dealt with, and what put me to where I am right now. Start with the biggest thing that has plagued me for years. Growing up, I grew up in a less than normal family. I grew up with drug-addicted parents. And my oldest brother, Randy, moved out before things had ever really gotten bad. And he wasn't there through the brunt of their addiction. And my other older brother, he was addicted to drugs a long time himself. So, I guess I've been on drugs most of my life, but from like 10 till 8 months ago, when they started cleaning up, I was the only sober, coherent person in my house. I grew up parenting my parents, babysitting them, taking care of them, monitoring their medicine at times, trying to make sure they wouldn't kill themselves. I suffered from having nightmares of finding them dead in the morning, overdosed on their drugs. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, I never went to school. I ended up dropping out in 11th grade because I was failing. And it's not something that is particularly easy to deal with growing up. I was also molested at the age of 10 by a family member whom we all thought we could trust. And it just so happens that same family member had molested my mom for 10 years of her life. Also, I was in a relationship about a year and a half ago now. Well, the relationship was almost 2 years ago, but what had happened was about a little over a year ago now. And me and this boy had broken up because he was moving away, and he came back in town for a short bit and asked me if I wanted to see him, if we could hang out. And I didn't see him as more than a friend then, but I agreed to it because he's still my friend. He ended up raping me, and that is still something that I have a lot of trouble dealing with. And the combination of all those events have put me where I am now. And today, Wednesday, I guess it was Monday night. When this happened, I cut myself pretty badly. And a close friend of mine actually had to call the police because she thought I was going to kill myself, or she didn't know how bad my cuts really were. So I had the police, I had ambulances, I had the crisis center. It was a mess. And for the first time, I really realized how my actions affect other people. And I had never really taken much consideration or thought to it, but having my parents being sober and finding out now, and having to deal with people thinking that I was attempting suicide, and it just made me feel really guilty that I selfishly would put my friends and family through something like that. But the reason I'm making this video is to say I'm a hypocrite for saying it, but I can kind of see things in a whole new light right now. But I know that whatever you might be going through, people might not understand, I might not understand, but there is somebody who does. And even if they don't understand, it doesn't mean you can't talk to somebody. Pick somebody in your life, anyone that you can trust, and talk to them. You know, just vent. I understand cutting being a way of making an emotional pain physical and having control over it, as where you don't have control over the people who hurt you or the things that have happened to you to make you hurt so badly. But cutting, it's a temporary distraction from the hurt, and ultimately you're just gonna feel worse afterwards, and you're gonna have the scars to remind you of what you did, and it eats at you. I'm 20 years old and I've been doing this since I'm around 8, and it eats at me every day. That's my gran. She passed away March 4th of 2011, and she was one of the most important people in my life. She was a mom when I didn't have one. She was a parent, she was a friend, she was just an amazing person that I love dearly, and I miss her every single day. And there was a particular incident where I'd gotten into a fight with my dad, and I ended up at her house. And I had cut myself after fighting with my dad, and in her kitchen that afternoon she made me promise that I would never cut myself again, and I did. I promised it to her. But now, breaking that promise is another thing I have to feel guilty about, because I know that she's looking down on me and very disappointed in me right now, and that hurts more than anything. Just feeling like I let her down, you know? Anyway. Basically, really long story short, find someone, anyone that you can talk to. Don't never end your life. I know that things are dark and you feel like you're just drowning and there's no way out and you're just suffocating beneath all the problems and all the worries and the stress of what you're going through. And I know that how tiring it is to go to sleep at night with everything hurting you, and to wake up in the morning and have those same things still there hurting you. But there's a light at the end of every tunnel, and there's always a breaking point. Things have to get really bad before they can get better, and no matter how bad they get, they will get better in time. It's just, you have to go about it and, you know, be positive. And always remember that there's somebody out there who's going through the same thing, and there's people going through worse things. And if they can get through them, you can too. Everybody's a strong person. It's about finding that strength within yourself to be able to pull yourself up and out of that darkness and be able to just be able to fight your way out. And some people need, you know, the support of somebody else there for them. And I know that, much like me, that you don't always have people that are willing to help you or people that you can trust to talk to about things. And which brings me on to my next point, is that if you ever feel like you're getting down to the point where you might take your life, or you might cut yourself, or you might harm yourself in any way, if you've got nobody else, I'm here. Always. I might not understand what you're going through, and you might think that I won't care, but I care about people, I care about everyone, and I never want to see somebody put themselves through what I've put myself through for years. I want to be that person that people can talk to. So, at the end of this video, I'm going to leave my Twitter, my Facebook, and my email. And my email sent directly to my phone, so I'll get it right away. And I want you guys to know that I'm there, that I will be there. And if you just need somebody to talk to help talk you out of a stupid decision, just, you know, give you that little bit of reassurance that, you know, things will be okay, talk to me. Anything. I don't judge. I won't tell you you're wrong for the way you feel. I'll just do what I can to help you. With that being said, I'm going to end this because I don't want it to be too long. But I really want you to keep in mind that I'm here, and I want you guys to keep in mind that suicide and self-harm is never an answer. It's just creating another problem, and it's ultimately going to make things worse. I love you guys. Don't forget,